Powered by the Montana Television Network. The KPAX 530 News starts right now in high definition.
Good evening, I'm Jill Valley.
And I'm Dennis Bragg. Missoula police investigating two separate violent incidents that have left one dead and another seriously injured.
The question is now whether these two cases are actually connected. MTN's Don Fisher has been tracking the investigations all day and joins us now with the latest. Don.
Jill, the first of the two incidents happened around noon today. Police responded to a reported stabbing in the Reserve Street, Missoula Fresh Market parking lot. Sergeant Scott Pastian says a 68-year-old woman was simply loading groceries into her car when she was attacked and stabbed at least 3 times by an unidentified man. The man then got into a dark-colored Honda passenger car with a second suspect who drove them away. That empty Honda was later located a short distance away, and the woman was transported to the hospital, and her condition is unknown. The attacker is described as a man of unknown race, about 6 feet tall and weighing about 200 pounds. He was wearing a hat and a black jacket that went down below his hips. No description could be given for the driver. And about 45 minutes later, dispatch received a call of a suspicious death at the Super 8 Hotel in the 3900 block of Brook Street, just across the street from the stabbing. Police arrived to find a woman dead in her hotel room. Pastian says the cause of death is unknown, but notes the death was violent in nature. During the initial investigation, the victim's car was found to be missing. It is described as a 2009 Chevy Malibu, red in color, with Montana license plate 4-46117B. Pastian says due to the proximity of both incidents, it is possible they could be related, but each are being investigated as separate incidents at this time. It is unknown why either attack occurred, and both suspects are still at large. Back to you.
Thanks, Don. If you have any information about either of these incidents, you're asked to contact Officer Caitlin Sargent at 552-6342. And police remind you these suspects are considered armed and dangerous.
And of course, we'll continue to follow this developing story both online and on air and have the latest information tonight at 10.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The KPAX 10 o'clock news starts right now in high definition.
Good evening, I'm Jill Valley.
And I'm Dennis Bragg. Missoula police investigating two separate violent incidents that have left one person dead and another seriously injured.
The question is whether the two cases are actually connected. MTN's Don Fisher has been tracking the investigation all day and has the latest.
The first of the two incidents happened around noon Monday. Police responded to a reported stabbing in the Reserve Street, Missoula Fresh Market parking lot. Sergeant Scott Pastian says a 68-year-old woman was simply loading groceries into her car when she was attacked and stabbed at least 3 times by an unidentified man. The man then got into a dark-colored Honda passenger car with a second suspect who drove them away. That empty Honda was later located a short distance away. The woman was transported to the hospital, and her condition is unknown. About 45 minutes later, dispatch received a call of a suspicious death at the Super 8 Motel in the 3900 block of Brook Street, just across the street from the stabbing. Police arrived to find a woman dead in her hotel room. Pastian says the cause of death is unknown, but notes the death was violent in nature. During the initial investigation, the victim's car was found to be missing. Pastian says due to the proximity of both incidents, it is possible they could be related, but are each being investigated separately at this time. It is still unknown why either attack occurred. In Missoula, Don Fisher, MTN News.
Now, the attacker is described as a man of unknown race, about 6 feet tall, weighing about 200 pounds. At the time, he was wearing a hat and black jacket that went below his hips. No description could be given for the driver. During the initial investigation, the victim's car was found to be missing. It's described as a 2009 Chevy Malibu. It's red and has a Montana license plate 4-46117B. If you have any information about either the parking lot stabbing or the woman's death at the hotel, you're asked to contact Officer Caitlin Sargent at 552-6342. Police do remind you that the suspects are considered armed and dangerous.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The KPAX 530 news starts right now in high definition.
Good evening, I'm Jill Valley.
And I'm Dennis Bragg. Breaking news to report this afternoon. The Missoula County coroner identifying the woman killed in a brutal attack at the Super 8 motel on Brook Street as 56-year-old Lynette Keener of Missoula.
Keener's body was found not long after another woman was stabbed in a grocery store parking lot across the street. Missoula police continue to investigate. They still aren't saying if the two attacks are related.
Yesterday, police responded to the reported stabbing in the Reserve Street Missoula Fresh Market parking lot. A 68-year-old woman who was loading her groceries into her car when she was attacked and stabbed at least 3 times by an unidentified man.
That man then got into a dark-colored Honda passenger car with a second suspect who then drove away. That empty Honda was later located across the street at the Super 8 hotel while police were investigating the discovery of Keener's body. Her car was found to be missing. An autopsy will determine how she died. Sergeant Jim Clawwitter says police have not identified the suspects and they do not know if they're still in Missoula, but they are still believed to be armed and dangerous. He also says the motive of the crimes is unknown. Today, police are following up on leads from the crime scene and reviewed surveillance video from the 2 locations and from surrounding businesses.
There's a lot that we're working on that we're unable to release, and we will sit down with the county attorney's office, and whenever we find anything that's either of interest to the public and that won't harm the case that we're investigating, then we'll release it.
Now, police are still asking anyone with information to give them a call at 552-6300. And if you see that stolen vehicle identified as a red 2009 Chevy Malibu with Montana plates 4-46117B, you need to call 911 immediately.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The KPAX 530 News starts right now in high definition.
Good evening, I'm Jill Valley.
And I'm Dennis Bragg. Police believe they may have found critical evidence in a stabbing that happened in Missoula earlier this week.
Officers found a knife in the snow along Stevens Avenue this morning, a knife that could be a key finding in what appears to be a cross-state crime spree.
Investigators can't say for certain that the knife is linked to Monday's stabbing attack or a woman outside a Missoula grocery store or the murder of a woman whose body was found across the street in a local motel. Stevens Avenue was shut down to 1 lane briefly around midday while police shoveled snow, boxed up the knife for the crime lab analysis, and searched for more possible evidence. The knife was found in the front yard of a home near Mount Avenue. One of the residents there is Sam Catlin, who said he was surprised to find police outside.
This morning we woke up and we noticed that the whole road up and down was just completely blocked off. There were police all the way up and down the sidewalk with shovels, kind of looking around. We didn't really know what was going on. We noticed that they had the whole thing narrowed down to just our front yard, and there was tape all the way around. And then, yeah, I basically came out to get the news that they found a piece of evidence in our front yard, apparently.
Catlin said he suspects the knife was thrown down at night. He lives with 5 other people and 4 dogs, so he said someone should have noticed it if it happened during the day.
Now, the discovery of the knife comes after 24 hours of breakthroughs in the Missoula attacks, which marshals have said may also be tied to a murder and assault in Miles City last week. And now authorities are preparing possible charges against a man and a woman who were on the run and caught in Coeur d'Alene Monday afternoon. Missoula police say yesterday 2 suspects were apprehended in connection with Monday's attacks on Brook Street. 1 woman was sent to the hospital after she was stabbed repeatedly while loading groceries in her car. The body of 56-year-old Lynette Keener was found across the street in a motel room. She'd been murdered. U.S. Marshals, with the help of Coeur d'Alene police and other agencies, arrested 2 persons of interest yesterday afternoon in Idaho.
Then yesterday evening, Miles City police announced the arrest of 37-year-old Scott Austin Price. He was wanted for aggravated assault and kidnapping for the death of Ed Martin and the beating of his wife at their home in Miles City last week. Price is being held in the Kootenai County Jail in Idaho on fugitive from justice charges. A second person, Sarah Ray McKnight, was arrested at the same address as Price on Tuesday, with the jail roster showing she's also being held on the same charges. Now, Missoula police tell us the investigation has been referred to Missoula County Attorney Kirsten Papps for review. They say her office may make an announcement regarding possible charges against the pair sometime tomorrow. We're still waiting to hear about proceedings for the Miles City murder and assault.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 530 News starts right now in high definition.
Good afternoon, I'm Dennis Bragg. Jill Valley has the night off. Missoula prosecutors are accusing 2 known criminals of killing a Missoula woman in cold blood and nearly stabbing another local woman to death. We've been following this story since it first developed on Monday. MTN's Robbie Reynolds is standing by with more on the case. Robbie?
Dennis, the Missoula County Attorney's Office filed 5 felony charges against Scott Austin Price and Sarah Ray McKnight. Now, that also includes a deliberate homicide charge. According to those documents, McKnight and Price met in Great Falls, where they realized they shared common interests as white supremacists. After discovering their mutual interests, court documents say Price and McKnight began using methamphetamine. During an interview with Missoula police, McKnight said they both got duct tape and zip ties planning to rob someone in Missoula. They eventually ended up at this fresh market store on South Reserve. They stabbed the woman 3 times before driving away. Minutes later, the pair arrived here at Super 8 Motel on Brook Street, where prosecutors say they committed a murder. Police say Lynette Keener was working at the motel as a housekeeper when she was attacked by the suspects, who cut her throat and stole her car. Price and McKnight were arrested in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Court documents say Price admitted to the murder. McKnight told officers Price threw his knife out of his car window while driving through Missoula. On Wednesday, officers found what they believe is the murder weapon outside of a home on Stevens Avenue. U.S. Marshals say Price is their suspect for the killing of a Miles City man, which happened 10 days ago. Now, according to court documents, McKnight told officers she was aware that Price was on the run. Back to you, Dennis.
Thanks, Robbie. And of course, we'll continue to follow this story. Attorneys also filed a warrant for Price's arrest, which they need to extradite him back to Montana from Idaho.